Hey, welcome back, guys. In this part, we're going to go ahead and create a new logo in Krita. Krita is a free image program that you can use to work with Cartoon Animator. It's completely compatible. And so you just go in for a new image, and my default setting is the 1000 by 1000 and 300 resolution, and then I just hit create. Okay, and then it goes ahead and it just opens up then these layers for me, but I'm going to come right on down to this little arrow key down here, and the first thing I want to do is add a file layer. Okay, add a file layer, and you can name it anything you want. I'm fine with whatever they give me here, and I hit the little file icon so that I can find it here. Okay, and then I'll just grab this logo. Okay, so this is something that I had created earlier, and just using the drawing tools here in Krita. And so what I'm going to do, and the reason that I'm bringing up something like this is just that if you've taken the time to draw something and you have a picture that you've drawn and you need to now turn it into vector art, then you can use this Krita tool to easily do that. And so here I'm going to bring in this example picture of something that I've created, um, and easily recreate it again. So I now have brought this image in and I can see it, and I can also just turn it on and off. You'll have to forgive it. It wants to keep highlighting a picture because I have the highlighter on, but this highlighter is real helpful for us. All right, so here we have this file layer. Now we'll come down here again into this little arrow key, and this time we're going to add a vector layer. Okay. Now, I know it seems like a lot of layers, but basically we can come down here and take away the paint layer that we don't need. And it always likes to keep a background image in there, but I think you can unlock that as well and then throw that away. Nah, it really likes to keep, no, there it goes, it went. Okay, so here's the only two layers that we need. We have the file that we brought in, which now, since it's highlighted, I'm just going to go ahead and turn the opacity way down on it. Not so much that I can't see it well, though, because I want to see the lines. And then I'm going to click on the vector layer and we'll start drawing on it. Okay, so now all the vector tools are available to me, and I'm going to go ahead and just grab this first one. I think it's called a polyline tool. Yes. And I'm just going to come down this way. And each time I click, you're seeing my Okay, now this one really likes to make straight lines, and perhaps I should have used the curve tool, but this is the one I chose, and we'll just edit our way out of it if we need to. Here we go. All right, so I've got a line drawn, and whatever color you want your line, you can. Oops, I'm sorry. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to choose this next tool, the Bezier Curve tool. Probably saying that wrong, but I'm going to start at this top point, and if I click and drag a little bit, it'll give me it'll start making the curve for me. I just give it a little more. I am going pretty quick on it instead of putting quite a few clicks in. Um, but it doesn't matter. This is editable, but yeah. Okay, let's just edit the shape here. Click the edit the shape tool, and when I click on this, I can go ahead and click the in between the buttons, and we'll just straighten that line out. That's pretty easy. Okay, and you can just basically get it as straight or as curvy as you want. Kind of like to have just a little curve here. You can also zoom in and by just rolling the mouse wheel, and then you can kind of see a little better what you're doing. So if something ends up having more curve than you thought it should. Okay, and so basically I tweak my drawing. And then maybe not use the curve tool so much. Okay, and this I'll just grab the point. All right, so there's our first shape. Let's go ahead and roll out. Actually, that's our second shape. Let's go ahead and roll out, and we'll get in here. And let's see. So we're on Edit Shape Tool. We're going to come in here and start to draw a little more. And I think I'm just going to use the Line tool or the Freehand Path tool. We really want the curve or the line tool, actually. Okay, here we're going to go. Okay, I wish it wouldn't make such a funky curve when you don't want it to. I'm sure there's a way to learn to work with this. I'm really a beginner, but I still had a lot of people requesting, how do I make my own stuff? And I'm hoping that this is going to get you started into the world of being able to make your own. Okay, so now let's hit the select tool here, and I'm going to right click and say send to back. And so now this layer's on top, this layer's underneath. So let's I hit the space bar to move that around. That's kind of the trick to remember. So we've got the selection tool. Let's select all three at the same time. And I only got two of them. There we go. And I would like to go to this line selector and just turn off the line, or turn on a line but turn it down to 2 pixels at this point, or 1 pixel. Here we go. And then if we turn off the picture behind, we can see that here's our actual line art. Okay. I'm going to go to 2 pixels so that we can see it a little better. All right. So if we wanted to color all the shapes the same color, we could just simply hit the fill button at this point, and everything's yellow. So let's look at our file image really quick here. I think it goes red, yellow, and then green. Okay, so we have our yellow done. Let's just click outside of it and click this top one now and turn it to red. All right. And let's come down here to this bottom one and click it to green. Green, green, green. Let's see which green we had. Okay, here we go. And so I'm going to bring this to the front, and I'm going to hit the edit tool, and I'm going to bring that one or the other. I need to bring the yellow point down or the green one up just a shade because you can see it underneath. All right, select this now and send it to the back. All right, it still shows just a hair, but I'm going to select this one now and hit the edit tool on it and bring that point down just a tad. And this one. So if you make it bigger, it's going to be much more accurate where you're trying to go. Otherwise, it can be kind of a fight to drag it. And so this is how you can really get super accurate where you, if you really need to be. And you can just roll out and then roll in on the point that you're looking at. And sometimes it gets lost. Just hit that space bar. Okay, so we still have to fix this one as well. Kind of up to you to decide. So here I have really quick an issue with the roundness of the line. Okay, there we go. I'll go ahead and save this now as the PNG image in case I haven't already. I think I already did. And I'm going to create media props. And I want the number 2 now. There we go. Okay, and let's go back here and make sure that we've saved it correctly. See how the file layer is still on? That's a problem. Now the file layer has an opacity of 37, so if you come back and look at the picture, you'll in Cartoon Animator, you can see that there's actually a layer here. So let's come back here and do this right. We're going to turn off the visible file layer. It's pretty much we'd colored over the top of it. And so now we're just good to go. I'm going to save as again. And I'm going to go over the top of that last image. Okay, and then back to Cartoon Animator, and I will delete this one and create media props, and we'll grab this one again. All right, now it's transparent, looks really good. You can size it right up. And let's go ahead now and get it about that big or so, and then come over here to custom content, just content and custom. And now here's where I saved the first one. I'm going to control C that name. And then now I'm going to come on this and make sure it's highlighted, and I'll click save. And as long as it says that it's going to go into props, we're good. And I'm going to control V to put the name in here and call this number 2. And there we go. All right. So I just done this a couple times, slightly different color. And here we go. So now this is ready to go. Anytime I want to load it in for a prop, all I got to do is double click it and it comes up. And I'm going to go ahead and just go straight to composer mode with this guy and just highlight him and click on the bone editor. Okay, and I'm going to move his pin just up here out of the way. And I would like to go ahead, and this is actually a pivot point that you can select wherever you would like to have the rotation, I guess, of your character. So if I put it here in the center, when I'm moving them around with some of the tools in on stage mode, then he'll fly around and basically rotate around the center point. Okay, so also if I hit the rotation tool when I have the whole thing selected, it'll rotate on that point. So let's go ahead and put our first bone in here, and we can just pretty much start anywhere, but I'm going to start right here at kind of the hip, and I'll put in another one right here. Can continue here. Okay, I meant to put in something at the knee, and that's why I've stopped. Okay, so now I'm at the end of this, and I'm just going to right click out, and I'm going to come right up on this pin again, and I'm going to add a bone. I didn't really have to click it first, but then I'll come down here and kind of match that knee and go there and right click to close it. Okay, and then from here I would like to add a bone, so we'll click there and here and here for elbow and here for hand. Stop right clicking. Okay, and then I'm going to add another bone. I'm going to do the same thing off of here. And I'm going to right click. Okay, add a bone. We'll just click here. Come on up. We'll have a neck. And the top of the head. Okay, and I'll right click on that, and then we'll add a bone. And this might be a little convoluted, but this guy will definitely be a little convoluted, right? And I'm going to right click on that. Okay. And then anytime you want to kind of see where you're at and how the end bone, of course, is just basically going to pivot because there's not really a hand there, but here we go. Um, we can move things around now. Okay. Okay, so you have more control here now with where at which position you could place bones. Could do more up here too. So let's just say that we'll undo preview now and we'll click up here on this and let's go ahead and insert, and you can put a child or a parent bone. And so I'm just going to ask for one child bone. And now it's added a bone here. In this too, if I find that I would want to have one more in there as well, just as easy as that. Okay. So pretty much now I've kind of simulated without having to go get one of the dummy packages. Just I've simulated now a bone structure of a hip and I guess the middle, kind of making a way to have shoulders, and then the head way up here. And this is all adjustable, but this is cool. We can go with this. And let's now just go. Um, I mean, if you wanted to really get technical, you can now wireframe. I'll just say affect all the layers, and we'll just increase the density a bit on this, like the 5 and the alignment. I usually save something like this for the very last. Okay, and you can tighten up. Excuse me. By default, it's usually has a little expansion room there, so we'll just kind of keep it loose for this character. Okay, so there's kind of a wireframe setting. Will help tighten up the movements a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead then and call this good, and come down here and click the spring editor now. And what I want to do is have just kind of a all the time movement on some of the bones. So okay, so I'm going to select, I've got one selected, and I'll hit control. Perhaps it's a one at a time here. Let's just assign it to the group, and I'm going to go to this one and assign it to the group. Okay. And I think I selected this one and I really meant to do this one, but that's okay. I'm going to just do both. They're all being assigned to the group here. All right. And then by adding the bone back before, then it's going to kind of make it have a little flex and move. let's do each one of the. Oops, I'm sorry. Let's. I'm gonna try doing the hip too, and just make it see if it'll be rubbery that way. Kind of. You can preview it and see. Yeah, that's what I want. Okay. hmm So then anytime the arms move, you also get the secondary movement of the spring. And that's going to be kind of a neat effect. Okay, good. Kind of move maybe the whole guy here. Yeah. All right, that's what we're looking for. So we'll call that part good. So now we've added bones and we've added springs. Um, the quickest way to put this guy into action, then here's all the layers now of his bones all. So let's say you want to save this, of course, and I'm going to keep building on this guy. You can go backstage here, or you can just it's the same thing, same symbol. We'll go back to the stage now, and I'll click on this guy, and you can go down into the prop editor. You have the prop key editor, which can allow you um, to change things in the general overall default settings, maybe that you want your prop to start out in. Okay, and it's kind of cool. You can roll it around and get it where maybe you want it to be. All right, so we're on frame 0, and I pretty much have built it, and I'm happy with where I'm at. So let's just use this guy now, and we can just put it into action right away. Okay, so let's take a look at these settings, because this is kind of your motion pilot, and how you can just instantly start using your guy. I'll hit preview and space, and so now in this mode, you don't have to keep coming out of it. You can sit and check out what's going on with the movement, and it may seem like it's going away, but you're coming over here into your menu and changing a setting and coming in and seeing how now that affects what's going on when you're moving that mouse back and forth. Basically, it's just flipping now because I've turned the X way down, and the only thing it'll do is go up and down, and just a tiny bit of going side to side. Okay, so this is how you can dial in what you're trying to get your character to do. I'm going to really exaggerate. And so when I bring it over, it zooms in. When I bring it back, it gets smaller. That can be a good thing or a bad thing, depending on what you would like. Okay. So now it easily goes side to side, but when I move the arrow key up and down, I just get, yeah, quite a bit of that motion that we put in with the spring effect. That's pretty cool. All right, so if I don't want it to flip back and forth, it can just be one direction across the screen. Add a little more wide. I can make it fly in or something like that. Okay. And as it's recording down on the bottom, we're just in preview mode, but if it were recording, then this is what you're getting as you're moving it across the screen. Okay, so now in the wave settings, they're pretty interesting. We'll open that up and do the amplitude here. And let's just start with the X. Okay. And now I'm not doing anything with my mouse anymore. I'm just letting it sit there, and it's going up and down and slightly side to side. Now it's just mostly up and down because it's 100% Y, just a tiny bit of side to side. Put in a little more side to side. Add some Z. You don't really see that too much. Okay. So all of these things you can keep selecting. Wave motion is influenced by the speed. I can set the speed and the use of my mouse. Okay, now this is adjusting the scale automatically, and I set it pretty heavy there, but okay. And so all of these can be set so that you can get a different thing going on automatically. If you wanted to have your character have just a little bit of almost a look like a breathing motion or something like that, then you could have something always going on with your character. This is just moving side to side, so let's turn it way down. Down even more. Okay, so this is a good way for you to learn how to set these settings and do the different things that you want to do without constantly going out of preview. Stay in preview, and you can learn this a lot faster that way. Virtually anything you want to do. Here I'm moving the mouse slowly, and I can make it move slowly, or I can make it tumble in. Have a lot of fun with this character without really even having done anything. Okay, so that's rotate. I can turn the rotate way down so it's under much more control. Up and down with my mouse. You can see it zooming just a little, getting a little smaller. All right, not to just make you dizzy here with this. So now I'll hit the space bar and it goes right back. And anytime I want to record, I can just come on in and hit the space bar now. And then when I come back and take a look, so pretty much everything that you do or turn on is going to create a different effect. Okay. So you probably see this a lot in Mario Brothers and stuff like that, where the character's constantly moving. You have a little bit of the spring effect going on too, which is giving that little bit of secondary motion while still having just that little bit of scale. So you can play with these forever and figure out some really cool tricks for your own characters. Right. Should put an eye on this guy. Okay, now there's this path, and whenever I hit on here in F11, all right, so that's enough of that, and I want to come in here now. Yeah, I think that's enough of that. Let's see what we can do with manipulating this guy. Got just one sprite to him. Okay, let's see if we can do a little bit of this stuff too. I'm just going to go ahead about 5 frames. Okay, let's see what we might have created here. Didn't really do much with the legs. Gotta be thinking. Little dance move at the end. should have some of the spring effect still going on at the same time, that secondary motion. You're not seeing it here. Okay, so now I'm going to go back here and just hit save, I think. And we'll go ahead and we did start brand new here. Okay. Let's go ahead and make number 1 then. We build on this. All right, let's take a look here. See if I can make the path and that go away. All right, now we'll F11 here and hit the space bar. See if it'll play. Try clicking on the screen. That sometimes works. All right, and we've given it at least some crude motions here, and let's move on to the next logo. All right, I want to start fresh and new with the new image, and I'm going to go 1000 by 1000 with the 300 resolution. Everything else is a default setting. Okay, and it's going to start you out with a paint layer, and but we're going to go ahead and just come right on down here and say add a vector layer, and you can just go ahead and delete that paint layer. Okay. All right, so now on the vector layer, what we're going to do is grab this Bezier Curve tool and just go ahead and start making your design. And if you hold down the shift or the mouse key while you're dragging, it will create a curve which you can continue to hold on to and make this curve whatever you want. Okay, the closer together, the more the line is straight. Now I'm curving the other direction. Okay, close together. I'm not ever taking my finger off the mouse button. I'm just simply playing with this until you learn that. Okay, and now my hand is off the mouse button, and I'm able to drag about that far before it says that's about it. I'm going to give one click, and I'm now continuing on that point. And so at any time I can hold down the mouse button once again and start to make a shape. And the more I manipulate it, the more I can get the kind of a line that I want. All right, so let's just come in here and I'm going to double click and it closes it out. And I now have my first shape. And now I'm going to go ahead and just click at the top point or anywhere. And I'll go ahead and start working on my next shape. Okay. Okay. Don't worry if you make a mistake or you don't like something, because as soon as you're done doing that, you just go ahead and hit one of these edit tools. And from there, once you select on a part, you get a lot of different shape settings that you can use to help shape or round off corners. But pretty much, once you click on something, you can then reshape it. You still doing stretching and pulling makes different things. I can also just click and then click again and make it shorter, longer, move it up and down. I have a lot of flexibility with this. I can click in between any two boxes. Got to clear that point, but okay. And then if I roll the mouse, I can zoom in and see the lines and see whether or not they're matching up. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and try some of these other tools. I think this is the one that I usually like to be on. And once you check out a couple of these other shape options, right now I'm having everything locked out like it's not selecting the way it's properly supposed to. I'm not exactly sure what's going on. I'm clicking and it's super slow. There we go. Finally. Okay, and here you can see I have that rounded line going on. And a minute ago it just wasn't letting me have the handles, but now there we go. Got the handles. I can sit and make these adjustments, and perhaps just zooming in a little more too allows it to know more what you're trying to tell it. And now we're easily able to correct these lines. Or make things just plain old look a little better or different. Okay. So I didn't really have a particular design in mind. I just simply wanted to show how you can manipulate these layers. Uh, the computer's being extremely slow. I might have to restart. I'm going to hit now the selection tool, and I'm just going to see if it'll let go and let me highlight everything. Okay, and now I'm going to come in here and do a few color options. So right now everything's in white. So let's just go ahead and make the whole group have a color. Okay. And then also by just selecting an individual item, we can go ahead and manipulate that color. Okay. You can bring something to the front or send it to the back. There we go. Bring to front. And so pretty much with the selection tool, you're able to do a lot of resizing or shaping or rotating it. So you have a lot of options. I'm just kind of playing here and showing you the different ways that you can stretch and move the art around. Kind of have to get outside of a corner to get the rotate to show up. You're they're actually just outside of the corner rather than trying to land on it. Just right there. Okay, so we're starting to get some kind of a unique thing going on here. I think that you get a little further too when you can clean your lines up when they're bigger. Okay, and now this is just simply moving shapes around. I'm not even using the other trim tool like this one where I come in. Fine tune. So you can come in anytime you want, click in between, get those handles. Now this will allow you to make your shapes differently. Okay, space bar and slide this. That's how you move this. I had said before I couldn't remember. Okay. All right. Hey, thanks for watching. Come on back for part 3. We're going to do more creating vector art using Krita and put it into Cartoon Animator 5.